In this episode, we're going to talk about a wife who has several male friends and has been hiding and keeping some secrets from her husband about the conversations.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. We are Marcus and Ash Kusi. We are bloggers from ourpeacefulfamily.com, where we help married couples become better husbands and wives.
Today we have a question from one of our readers who submitted it. And it says, we've been married 16 years, together 24 years. My wife has always been a very social person since we met in high school and has made many male friends who were more or less saw her as a mother-like figure to these guys, which I can vouch for. So as we started seeing each other, I'd see that she even spoke by phone or text with many of them, which most had girlfriends. But like I said, she was the mother figure that they confided in. When we got married after high school, she still felt the need or validation that continued these types of friendships. They were supposed to be acceptable in our marriage. It kind of was for the mutual guy friends until I found out there had been other guys she would connect with that I didn't know personally. I don't believe she's done anything physical, but refuses to acknowledge my concern of the hidden connection with these guys. She calls or texts in, which she says are now just friends. She already lied about some of the information I pulled up on the phone bill, so this is a problem. I can't seem to work out with her. Help. I'd like to say a few things about this message, is that there were so many red flags for me. It sounds like you've tried to understand her need to have this connection with these other men, and from what we're told here, and it sounds like you're at this point where like enough is enough. And because of the hidden things, like we believe that once you start hiding, deleting text messages, not telling your spouse about something like that, especially with somebody of the opposite sex or somebody you could be attracted to, that it's already the beginning of cheating. And if I'll just tell you, if I was in this position and I had tried to talk to Marcus about it and he wasn't listening to me, I would have to make a decision. Am I happy being in a marriage where this is going on, where there's this lack of trust and this trust that has been broken? My answer would be no. And I would go to him and I would say, look, I really love you and I want to stay in this marriage, but I cannot live my life like this. So if you're not willing, I can't do this. So if you're not willing to help me come up with a compromise of something we can both be happy with, then I can't do this anymore. And I wouldn't be quick to be like, that's it, this is over. Obviously, if it's something that you have that's worth fighting for, but it's only going to work if you're both fighting for it too. And you can suggest marriage counseling to help you navigate this compromise. The other thing is, you can try to understand her. I don't know if you've asked her the question, like, what is it exactly that these friendships are giving you? Like, ask her that question. She's getting something from it. To me, it sounds like it is emotional cheating, in my opinion. And we also believe that each couple has to define cheating for themselves. Because there's couples in open relationships where sleeping with other people is not cheating. So you have to, have you ever talked about that with her and come up with those lines in the sand, I guess?
Yeah. What I'll add to this will be that after doing the conversations, that one thing I also have to do personally is to see what you are comfortable with in terms of the relationships that she has with these guys that, from the question, she's like a mother figure to them. And so how do you feel about that? Like, are you okay with just having that kind of relationship with 1, 2, or with 10, 20 of them? I don't know how many guys or men you're talking about in your question. So that's one thing I would say, do a deeper dig into your own self and see what you are comfortable with. And then the other thing I would say is, she's already broken some trust in here. So when you talk to her, you have to bring up that question also about trust, because if she's hiding some stuff, it means there's probably more that she's hiding. This is what you found out on your own. There are chances that she's hiding more than that. So I'll recommend that you talk to her about the trust and see how best you guys can rebuild the trust that you have. Because if you cannot rebuild the trust and she still wants to have these mother-like relationships with these men, it will bring an issue for you guys down the road, which might not look good at all. So I will highly recommend, if I was in their shoes, that's what I'll most likely do. To all be about talking and then seeing how best to make sure that both of our needs are met, and then the boundaries that we have for our marriage, our relationship, doesn't get broken because of these other relationships. Because if a different relationship is going to break the marriage relation that you guys have, then you know that those relationships are causing trouble for your marriage, and long term it's just going to add to the issues that you guys encounter on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, in our marriage, we don't, like, when we first got married, I did have some guy friends that I still talk to. Marcus didn't have any girlfriends that he talked to, women friends. But now I don't really talk to any of my guy friends anymore. Just kind of fell out of touch. But so for us, we don't have this specific issue. We do have friends who have friends of all sexes and genders, and that works for them. They're comfortable with it, with the boundaries that they've set and the open communication. So this isn't a one-size-fits-all. You do have to find out like what works for you, and it sounds like this is not working, and the trust that's broken. So first of all, decide, can you stay in this marriage if it continues this way? And if your answer is no, then come up with what you're ready to pose as a solution, where you go to your wife and you're like, we need to talk about this. I can't live like this anymore. I love you. I want to stay with you. So can you come to counseling with me? Can we come up with some boundaries that you will respect? And in part of earning back the trust in this specific issue means that you have each other's passwords, and that you can check your phone anytime, or your email or social media or anything like that. That's very important for when you're rebuilding this kind of specific trust that's been broken.
Yes. I think that is all I'll add. It's just talking. In marriage, a lot of the issues that couples face can be solved when both of them sit down and they talk about it. Because if you don't talk, you're assuming things, it makes everything difficult and just adds to the resentment that builds over time. So definitely sit down and talk to your wife, and then let her know how you feel about this situation and how you feel about the things that she's done and what that is causing you internally, so that she knows that, she might even not know that these are things that are bothering you so much. She might think it's something trivial, but it might not be something trivial to you. So definitely sit down, talk, and then see ways that you can rebuild the trust that you have. Yeah, and we say that because we've worked so hard on our communication, we can go to each other with anything, and we know that, like, we've had this conversation a handful of times in our marriage where we're like, if this continues, I don't think I can stay married to you. It wasn't that we didn't love each other or we didn't want to make this work. It was this is a boundary that needs to be in place so that I can stay happy. And if you need help doing that, we highly recommend a licensed marriage therapist to help you just navigate that. Yeah. Thank you very much for submitting your question. We hope our answer will helps you. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get updates for new videos that we post on YouTube. Thank you again.